Hi, my name is Georg from berlinsheep.com, and today I will show you how to order an internet provider for your home. And we will do that via a site called Check24. And Check24 is a comparison site, so they not only compare internet providers but also electricity or gas providers and many other things. So if you need one of these, you also can check out my article on electricity and gas providers. Now we will use Check24 first of all because they compare. So we have one place where we need to look and we can see a comparison of all the German internet providers. And the second reason is Check24 often has special deals. So we can actually get at the same company, at the same provider, a cheaper deal than at the provider directly. And all information in this video you can also find in my article under berlinsheep.com/internet. So you see like the whole process is here documented with every step has its own paragraph. So if you need to look up something, for instance, some vocabulary that you will find in the process, then you can also find it here in the article. Okay, so the core of the article is this comparison table. And the first thing you need to enter and make sure it's correct is the area code. So that one here. And the area code is the area code of your city. So for Berlin, it's 030. So if you're from Berlin, then it's all fine. You can just continue. If you're not from Berlin and you don't know your area code, then you can look up in the German phone book. So there's a link up here. There we go. What is my area code? You can click here to German phone book and then a new page opens. And let's say you're from Hamburg, you don't know the area code for Hamburg, just type in Hamburg, click, and you see it's 040. So then you would take this 040 and to find Hamburg internet providers, you would enter here 040. Now, but we are now in Berlin, so let's stay with 030. The other things that you can set up here are the flat rate types. So the flat rate, in case you don't know, it means that you pay a certain fixed amount of money and you have unlimited internet data. So this is why the first one is checked. We want unlimited internet and not capped. The other things you can select here is a landline flat rate. So if you want to have unlimited landline calls in Germany, you could select also this one. And if you want to have a TV service, you can click here. Now we don't need all these things, so we leave them out. Here you can also set up the bandwidth. So the default is 16 Mbit. It's actually fast enough for watching YouTube for a regular decent internet connection. It might be not enough for uploads. If you need to upload often bigger files, then you might maybe go for 50. So 16 is downstream bandwidth. The upload correlates. It's often maybe with 16 you often get 2 megabit upload, and with 50 Mbit you get 10 megabit upload. Like it's all more written in the table, so let's look there. But here you can like select a higher bandwidth. Now we stayed with 16 Mbit. Then below come all the offers that match our criteria. And first you need to know, so there are 3 types of internet connections. There is the most typical one is via phone. So it's a DSL connection. It comes via your phone line, and that's the most often one actually. Then there is a connection via cable. It comes via your TV cable. And the third option is via mobile. It's via LTE. So it's not really easy to find that here in the table. To really be sure what type of connection it is, you click on Details and then on Vertragsdaten. Then you can see here Anschlussart. Okay, so this one is LTE. Um, Another example here, Vodafone, you already can read it. It's cable, but like just check it's in the same place. Yeah, Anschlussart Kabel. So these ones are mobile and cable. Um, I mostly prefer DSL, so let's look for a DSL one. That should be this one here, Tarifdetails, Vertragsdaten, Anschlussart DSL. Okay, so this one comes via your phone line. And here you can see also the actual download rate. So 25 Mbit downstream, 5 Mbit upstream. However, here's a little minus. So in this tariff, you will get throttled. It means that once you have used 300 gigabyte per month, then the connection will be much slower. And yeah, So I don't like that. I want to use full bandwidth all the time. Don't think about how much I already downloaded. So I will pick another option, and this is this one, O2, 24 months, and no throttling. Yeah, 24 months. You might read, oh, that's a long, that's the contract term, and that might be a long term. But in fact, you have to know one thing. So maybe you're worried, okay, I can't order for 24 months because I will maybe just leave my place after 10 months or 12 months. So I don't want to be bound so long. Now, for this case, you have to know in Germany, you actually can cancel an internet contract if you can prove that you leave your place and you move to another place where you can't continue the current contract. So if you can prove with an Abmeldung and other Anmeldung, or if you just leave the country and you can actually prove that, then you can cancel also a 24-month contract earlier. So that shouldn't be a reason that you are not ordering such a long-term contract. Yeah, so and honestly, if you really want to get a cheap deal, you have to actually find mostly such long-term contracts because otherwise they're not really on the market. Okay, so this would mean 19.16 euro per month. Let's pick this. Actually, you can already check the details here. Yeah, let's look maybe in detail. So this is a column with the one column is einmalig. It means these are the one-time costs that you will pay for this contract. So at the beginning, you will pay one time an Anschlussgebühr, a fee for the registration. There is no shipping. You will get one number for free. And you actually get a bonus. So this is why this is here a minus. So you pay 40 euro, but you get a bonus of 60 euro via cashback. I will explain later what it means in particular. So this first column means these are all the one-time costs, and the second column are all the monthly costs. So monthly you pay 29 euro 99 cents, but you will get a bonus from Check24 every month deducted 10 euros. So you will then pay effectively 19 euro every month. And what they here do, like this average per month means your effective price per month. So they put this all into one big pot. So the one-time costs 40 euro, but minus 60, so minus 20 euro, plus all these monthly costs, so 24 month times 19 euro 99, and then they divide it by 24 months, and then you have your effective price per month, which is 19 euro 16. Okay, you already can read here, okay, after the 25th month, so after these 2 years, if you still stay at this contract, then you pay 29 euro 99, but you don't have to because you can cancel earlier. The term is only 24 months, and I would actually recommend to cancel that and to then look for a new provider because otherwise you're really 10 euro higher after these 2 years. Now, let's check how, let's pick this contract. We go here on continue, click, new page opens. And we have again the overview, so to really be sure they show us again what we pay. And here we also see the contract terms. So the minimum term is 24 months. The cancellation period is 3 months. So 3 months before the end of this minimum term, you have to cancel it latest. So latest after 21 months, you have to cancel it. And if you don't cancel it, then you get another 12 months in this contract. So yeah, this is why I always recommend like either put a calendar notice that you get an email after these 21 months, or even better, like, or even already after 20 months to have really some time frame to cancel it, or even better, just cancel it right away. Like you can just order it and then after 1 month, just write them an email, say I cancel the contract within the or at the end of the contract term. In German, it would be, I've put it in the description, zum Ende der Vertragslaufzeit, and then you can be sure that there was no automatic extension of the contract. And usually they already, so you shouldn't be afraid that you will be without internet because they will think about it. Usually the company then comes back to you and says, you canceled your contract, maybe you still want to stay and we offer you some special deal. And so this is a really, it saves so much of mind energy because then they care about you and you don't have to think about canceling. Okay, this is again this table. I already explained it, effectively 19.16 €, but don't forget you actually need to pay 19.99 €, 202, but you will get one time this cashback. More on the cashback at the end. Okay, so let's continue. Weiter, continue. Next step. So this is the hardware, and this is actually something new. Usually they used to just give you a modem and a router for free. Now apparently they changed the policy, so very often, also on all the other contracts, you either have to have your own router, your own hardware, then you can just continue with that option. But then you have to make sure like that you have a Fritzbox or some other router that also works with O2. In case you're not sure, you don't have these things, then you have to rent one from them, and it means that you would rent it for €1.99 per month, and you also have to send it back after your contract finished. I mean, I always preferred that option because then I can make sure, okay, I have internet at the beginning, and maybe if I later find some used router or I can use some modem, some router from another contract I have at home, then I test it, and if it works, then I can send it back and I save the €2. But I prefer to start with these €2 renting fee for their modem. Okay, next step. And now they want to know where we live. So the first question is, what type of building is it? In Berlin, so this is one family house, this is a multi-apartment house, this is the more likely thing in Berlin. Then they ask, is it the front building or the rear building? Let's assume it's the front building where you live. Etage is the level, so in Germany it always starts with 0, so 0th level is the Erdgeschoss, and then if you have to go one level upstairs, then it would be the first level. So let's say it's this one. This is the rough location of the apartment. Is it rather left or middle or right? Let's go for the middle. And here they're asking, do you already have a contract? So I guess no, because you just moved to Germany. But if you already would have a contract, and say after these 2 years you want to switch to another one, then you would pick yes. Then you could also say which provider you have the contract with, and then Check24 would even take care about canceling the old contract. So pretty nice service. Now let's assume you don't have one, so then it's a no. Then we continue Anschlusstermin. It means what is the desired date, when should the contract start. This is as soon as possible, schnellstmöglich, or it's a Wunschtermin. So this could be useful if you know that you will move to a new place in 2 months, and then you can already say, so in 2 months I want to have internet there. You see that the earliest possible Wunschtermin is in 3 weeks. And yeah, that's sad, but it's true. Germany, especially if it's DSL, they often have like the company that you're getting the internet from, in this case O2, has to get back to the company that is owning the last mile, the actual phone line into my apartment. And because they need to coordinate and need to get back and find a date where their technician comes, it always takes like 3 weeks that this can be realized. So yeah, that's something we have to live with. Sometimes it can be quicker with cable. So you could maybe try some cable contract and then go for schnellstmöglich. But yeah, usually can't with the 3 weeks. No, yeah, don't have the Wunschtermin, schnellstmöglich. So the last thing, Einzelverbindungsnachweis, that's a thing for the billing. So every month you will get a bill, and you can choose if on this bill all your phone connections, so all the numbers you've dialed during that month, should be either not listed at all or should be listed but obfuscated, so the last digits wouldn't be visible, that would be verkürzt, or if they should be listed fully. So if you want to know, like, okay, which numbers I dialed and how much money did it cost, then you can go for vollständig. And in this case, you have to acknowledge. So this says, I acknowledge that I've told all the people living in my apartment about the full listing of their numbers. Yeah, so it's mostly a privacy thing. So if you live in a flat share, then you have to tell all the people that live there, yeah, I can see all the numbers you've dialed. Okay, let's accept this. Weiter, continue. And here we go with our personal data. So first thing is email address. because we will get actually a confirmation by email. Very useful. I go with some dummy data. Ballancheap.com. This is salutation, so it's either Mr. or Mrs. First name, last name, birth date, phone number. In fact, if your phone number starts with 49 something, then you have to put it here without the 49. So it has to start with O. And then some dummy number. Okay, should be accepted. Here you have to put in your zip code, postal code. Let's say I live here. And here the street, and it's actually a select box, so they want to make sure that the address exists. So when you start typing the first letters, then all the streets available under that postal code will be listed here. So let's say I live at Alexanderplatz 1 in the center. This checkbox says, yes, use this address not only for billing, but also for sending me all the hardware. That's usually what you want. And payment. So this will be done via direct debit. Direct debit means that you give them the bank account number and you allow the internet provider to deduct the money every month automatically without you needing to send them the monthly fee. That might sound a bit like dangerous because, well, maybe they take off too much money, but you can be relaxed about this because this direct debit thing is a pretty normal thing in Germany, and it also allows you to take your money back in case you believe it was wrongly paid. So I think 6 weeks after every direct debit payment in Germany, you can still go to your bank and say, hey, please revert this payment. I don't agree with that. So let's enter some IBAN number. Here we go. By the way, it has to be a German IBAN or IBAN number, so in case you don't have a German bank account yet, simply check out my article on free German bank accounts. The link is in the description. And then we go to the overview. So we see again all the things that we have put in. This one is interesting. So you have 14 days to change your mind. Within 14 days, you can send a mail again, say, I don't want this. I've changed my mind. Then you see all the details that you've entered, address, bank account number, as soon as possible. Here again, the minimum contract term, and so on. Here again, the overview of the money you will pay. You see something changed because we actually ordered now the modem, the WLAN modem. By the way, WLAN means Wi-Fi in German. You will encounter this oftentimes. So yeah, you will have Wi-Fi at home, and because they will need to send a modem, a one-time shipping cost was added, €9.99. And here is the so-called cashback. Now let's go to detail. Cashback means Check24 says now, hey, thanks that you ordered it via us, and because we get some commission from O2 for this, then we want to share that commission with you. And so if you prove to us that you actually really ordered this contract and you are using the O2 contract, then you will get €60. And you prove that by sending an email to Check24 with your first invoice. So the first bill that you get from O2, you need to send to Check24. I've added the email address in the description. And so once you've sent that first invoice from O2 to Check24, then Check24 will pay you the €60 out to your bank account. Okay, yeah, and again, like all this money put together in a pot, like the one-time costs, the monthly costs, and then divided by 24 is €21.56. This is your effective price per month. Okay, now if I would click here, then I would actually order this internet contract. I'm not doing it because I have already one. Just to show you, you need to still click on Kauf abschließen, that one here. If you still have some questions, then feel free to ask in the YouTube comments or also in the article comments on the blog. I will try to answer them quickly. And yeah, I think that's it. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and see you next time.